will when you give up. So let's go. Let's hold our heads up high and keep pushing. And always say to yourself, it is well. God's got my back. Good morning. This is Home Affairs on Joy 99.7 FM. What's our show about this morning? I am with my favorite gynae, Dr. Paddy Ayite. So all we're doing is having a gynae session this morning, a Q&A session for that matter. Phone lines are activated. I just have two questions here I want to share with him, and when I am done, I will activate the phone lines, take your questions, and then we make time to answer all of them. Doug, good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
How have you been?
I've been great. I'm doing well.
Great. We thank God. Me too. I am fine.
We thank God for that.
I am. When I say I'm fine, he understands. I am his patient. So when I say I'm fine, he understands. So I will shoot the first question. Can we go?
Sure.
All right. 0302216541. That's number to call on. 0244340437. It's WhatsApp. And Home Affairs is sponsored by Indomie. Tastes great. So first question: do fibroids cause pain during intercourse? I ask because my wife has been complaining of abdominal pains, and worse off is when we have sex. We saw the doctor and she was diagnosed with fibroids. She's very fine, and the doctor has advised that there is no urgent need to have surgery because the fibroids are not causing any complications. However, I can only swim in shallow waters during intercourse. Any attempt to penetrate or fully immerse myself into this pleasure pot is met with rejection because she is afraid she will go through pain. I am getting frustrated and gradually losing interest in being intimate with her. What do I do? First question.
Big problem.
Is it?
Yes.
Wow.
Because it's causing a lot of stress. And it's unfortunately getting progressively worse.
Mm-hmm.
And what tends to happen is because of you're afraid of pain, and so you are preventing. And so even the part that is okay, you are still preventing. And then because of that, he is also not getting very happy because he's feeling a bit rejected. And because you're afraid of pain, then anytime an approach is made, you say no because you're worried that there'll be pain. Then he feels rejected again. Then it just becomes a vicious cycle.
From what he's saying, it's like he's directed to do it in a particular way,
yes.
And anything beyond that,
it's a problem.
Yeah.
The pain may or may not be due to the fibroid.
Okay.
If the fibroid is, and I'll give you an example of how a fibroid can cause pain.
Okay.
Fibroids itself undergo certain changes.
Okay.
And when they undergo those changes, they can become painful. When they become large enough and the blood supply is not adequate to it, they undergo certain changes, and those changes can result in you having pain and tenderness.
All right.
But the fibroid, if it's positioned, let's say, for example, at the back of the uterus, it displaces the position of the uterus. It lifts the cervix upwards, and it can twist the uterus to be bent backwards instead of bent forward like a normal uterus should be.
So what it means is that, fibroids can be positioned at different places.
Yes, of the uterus. And the impact that you would feel will be different.
Okay.
So the fibroid is at the front, for instance, it can cause you to be urinating frequently.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with the urinary system, but because the fibroid is pressing into the bladder, it's like a fist into a balloon. So the balloon, the amount of water that the balloon can contain is now smaller because you've put a fist inside. Yeah. Your fist inside it from the side.
Oh.
And the result is that the volume becomes smaller, so then your bladder gets full very quickly, and then you have to pee more frequently.
I see.
And the fibroid, for instance, is behind. It can displace the uterus, and then therefore each time he approaches and he goes beyond shallow waters, he may be touching the fibroid.
Oh, and that could be painful.
Yes, and that could be painful or pretty uncomfortable for her.
I see.
It may be if it's from a side, it could distort the uterus to one side, and that will result in him having to angle himself in a particular angle to avoid that, because then it causes pain and discomfort for her. So that is where a fibroid itself can cause that problem. But there are other problems too that can cause
pain.
yes,
and it
pain.
may not necessarily be the
fibroid. I mean, an example is endometriosis.
Okay.
Endometriosis is a condition where people have their menses not only from the uterus coming out, but in other parts of their pelvis, where they can have, they bleed. When they have their menses, they bleed from the uterus, they bleed around the ovaries, they bleed around their tubes, they bleed between the space between the rectum and the uterus. That one causes pain during sex. They bleed in the space between the uterus and the bladder. They bleed sometimes in the upper chest. They bleed sometimes in their lungs. They bleed sometimes in their head. So endometriosis it's crazy.
And it is all related to menstruation.
You only have that bleeding during menstruation.
Nice.
But then the pain and the effect of that pain can go for a very long time because it causes scarring and distorting of the anatomy. So things that shouldn't be stuck there end up being stuck there. When you have sex and you touch that area, then there's pain. Wow. So it's a big deal, and it's a quality of life issue. Her quality of life is being severely impacted, and he who is not ill is also suffering quality of life issues.
A family issue.
So I would recommend that even though the fibroids are not that big for maybe other reasons, they should have the painful sex investigated, so that we can find out why she's having that problem and try and fix it.
Because it could just be that the painful sex is not as a result of the fibroid. So further investigations are needed here. Yes. Okay, great. You who sent me the message, I'm not mentioning your name, but I hope that you got it. Now, second one. Are all vaginal discharges normal, even if they do not come with any odor? Which is normal and which is not? Okay,
the normal vagina...
Doc, today you're going to talk plenty, pa. Did you eat before coming?
No, I didn't, but I'll be fine. The normal vagina is lubricated.
Okay.
And the vaginal walls produce a little bit of secretions. The cervix produces some secretions. So under normal circumstances, there should be fluid, some amount of fluid inside there, small amount. If the fluid is coming out, we ask a few questions to make sure that the fluid coming out is normal or it is abnormal. Because we really don't expect fluid to be coming out on a regular basis. And it will be maybe slightly whitish under normal circumstances because it contains certain bacteria and organisms that ensure that the vagina remains clean and healthy the way it's supposed to be all the time. And it's a pretty clean place. Some people have got discharges that is something more than the normal, and those discharges may vary in color, in consistency, in smell. So if you have bloody discharge coming out, it's not normal. You are not supposed to be seeing blood. So if you see blood, it's a problem. If you see blood after sex, it's a problem. You're not supposed to be seeing blood. So those are things that shouldn't happen. If the discharge is thin, light, frothy, like it's a bit bubbly, it's a sign of a particular kind of infection. If it smells like a fishy kind of odor, it's a sign of a particular kind of infection. If it is thick, whitish and cheesy, forms clumps, it's a sign of a different kind of infection. So when a client comes and says she's got a vaginal discharge or a discharge, a secretion that is different from what she normally experiences, then what we'll do is ask a few questions to try and identify into which category it falls, take a swab, then get a culture or just a written examination done to find out what exactly is happening, and then we can give the appropriate treatment specific to her particular problem. But it's not like one treatment fits all. And some discharges are more serious than other ones.
Okay, so the advice here is that if she feels like the discharge is not a normal one,
what she normally experiences.
Even if it's without odor.
Even if it's without odor, yes, it could still be an issue. And it's always best to have it checked out before it becomes a beast.
Okay, great. Number 3, these are all questions I gathered around here yesterday. 3 is, I think I am never in the mood. I just never think about sex. No matter what my husband does, I am always dry and he's always frustrated. I encourage him to use a lubricant and still go ahead. But that makes, he says that is not fun. And for about 3 months now, he has not tried to touch me. Now, the question is, why do I just never feel like sex? I am 32, we have 2 children, I have help, and my job is not all that stressful. I just never think about sex. What is wrong with me?
Interesting problem. There could be several different things that are wrong, but let's start with the fact that for you to want to have sex, it means you are looking forward to what is going to happen, and then what happens, it is being done in a manner in which you like.
Okay.
So you are going to you'd anticipate, so you look forward to it, and then you get appropriately aroused, and then you go on to have sex. And for some people, they have a problem with that entire process.
All right.
But that starts from something inside their head, and that means that there's a problem with the way they perceive sex itself. For some of us, our parents did a very good job in an attempt to prevent us from having early sex.
No, that is bad.
They succeeded in putting us off the whole thing totally. Yeah. And the result is that at every time that you are doing it, you are feeling guilty. That you are doing something wrong. And you can see your mother standing beside you with a stick, warning you, even in your marriage, and you're thinking about that all the time, and it's a big turn off. So some people have got what we would call psychological issues, things that we need to have a long chat with and try and drill down and find out why she's not turned on at all. There are those who have had occasions when they've been turned on before.
Okay.
But now they are not.
They're not.
And so we try to find out that, okay, so this is not something
changed
from the beginning, but this is something that occurred somewhere down the line, and now we are not going to find out what has changed in their life that has now caused this kind of problem to occur. And then in our process, we'll find, once we can narrow that one down, we know how to address it. For some other people, it's just a simple matter of the fact that what is going to happen is not something that you look forward to or anticipate. Because somehow, the gentleman, much as is not pressing the right kind of buttons, it doesn't sound like that in this case. Now, every woman has got the part of her body that she likes attention to be focused on.
Yeah.
And once that attention is focused on that area, you get results. You know that unlike a man who is a quick start engine, once you touch the start button, he's on. And he's on straight, 10,000 revolutions per second, full speed ahead. He could be busy working on something, and he sees something attractive. No, the light bulb comes on, and he's automatically on. Women's engine needs to be warmed up, so it's almost like a ship engine.
Could there be physiological factors to this?
I'm coming down.
Okay.
I'm coming down. So you need to start the engine, and then you need to warm the engine, and then you need to, add water, add salt, add pepper, add spice.
Yes.
You must start like in the morning to be able to achieve results in the evening. You have to be maintaining the attention level throughout the day, even when in the middle of working. You must ensure that there's no tiredness. There's an environment that needs to be created for her to be able to enjoy sex and to look forward to sex. And that is there. And that also needs to be every woman and what she wants. Now, after you've created that environment, then the actual act itself, everybody differs. And one needs to investigate and find out what works for this person that I am with. Okay. And then to do your best to try and achieve that for her. And you'll be surprised how many people, one, don't know what they like, as in women. Two, know what they like, but they haven't told their husbands. So they are expecting their husbands to be magicians. To get up and say, abracadabra, then fine. Touches the spot, and then he discovers by magic. And then...
It's called exploration.
Exploration, Charlie. Some people are not very exploratory. They are not very exploratory. And then there are those two that they know, and they have told their husbands. And the man just will not touch there. Those are the ones I don't understand. The ones I don't understand. They have told you, enter this
is
data into the computer and get the good outcome you want.
I know.
And you are still not entering the
Going
right data.
around it.
And you are going and entering wrong data. You will get wrong results. School teacher has told you, this is the thing. Marking scheme you've been given. And you choose to go and answer Agama lizard when the question was forest. So those people too are there.
They're there.
You see. So then for some people they actually have a medical condition.
Okay.
And that medical condition is causing them problems.
Okay.
And then there are those who are on medications. Usually you discover that there are some medications that when you give men, it makes it difficult for them to get erections. And so you, your doctor, you prescribe the medication for the man, and you discover that the problem is not going, and you are changing, you're trying, of course, increasing the dose. The truth of the matter is that he's not taking it. He's not taking it because when he takes it, he can't perform. So because, okay, I want to perform today, then today I don't take the medicine at all.
And then that problem also lingers.
And then maybe when I go in the evening and I don't get to do it today because today she's in a bad mood, that means tomorrow I won't take the medicine because I'm hoping to do it tomorrow.
Oh.
And the problem just goes on, and then one day he just ups and dies. And you're wondering, but I was giving him the right medication. Why wasn't it? It's a very difficult case. You can't seem to control the problem. No, the problem is not the fact that your medication wasn't working. He just wasn't taking it.
Wow.
And don't tell you. They will not tell you.
Wow.
If you're lucky, they tell you that, oh, doctor, since you gave me this medicine of late, I can't perform. And you see, my wife is young, so I'm worried. I have to make sure that I maintain services at home. So for that reason, I'm a bit disturbed. But for a lot of them, they won't tell you. They'll just not take the medication. They'll come every 3 months or every 6 months of their routine visit and, tell you some stories, and you keep changing their medication. They're not taking it.
Wow.
Then we discovered that some women too, when they take those kinds of medications, also have those kinds of effects. But we didn't quite know.
Oh.
Yes, at the beginning it wasn't. It was like the men
linked to women.
It was men issues. But you also notice that women too are having some of those problems. And then there's one more, but I won't say it.
Why not? We're learning.
No, but you know very well how people, once they hear that, they don't misinterpret everything.
Okay.
So I'll not add that one to it.
If
you come and see your doctor and he asks a few questions, he will know how to make adjustments to that one to solve that one. So the problems are there are a myriad of problems that need to be solved, but it involves a long conversation.
Wow.
A very long conversation.
Yeah, I noticed.
Drilling
this has
down,
been the longest answer you have given so far.
Sorry. Drilling down every single parameter until you find out where the problem is, and then once you adjust it.
So, what we're trying to let people understand with this, if I am getting you right, is that it is not every time that your partner says that they are not in the mood or they are not feeling it that you always have to be upset and say that you're always not. There could be a problem.
There could be a problem.
That, the person may not even be aware of. And so you will have to,
seek help.
Seek help. Okay, great. On my WhatsApp, it says my friend who has a negative rhesus and had an abortion when she was young. Please, is there any chance she can have a child of her own again? This is from Ikua. She can.
Well, first of all, thank you for the question. Second of all, I'm very happy about people who ask questions for their friends. They are loyal friends. You see, we need more friends like that in our lives. Thirdly, she's rhesus negative, and she had a termination of a pregnancy when she was younger. So let me explain the challenge, and then we'll see then I can give a definitive answer. The rhesus problem becomes an issue if the partner you are with has a different rhesus status than you. In other words, if you are negative and your partner is rhesus positive, then the baby may be rhesus positive, and therefore the baby's blood can cross to your blood, and then you can become sensitized to it. And your subsequent child.
Down this rhesus positive and negative to us a little.
When we mention your blood group, we say you are O positive or O negative, or A positive or A negative.
Okay.
We are talking about the negative part and the positive part, not the O and the A.
All right.
Okay. So she's maybe, let's say, O negative. She got pregnant, she had a termination. Now, in the process of the termination, there could be an exchange of blood between you and the baby. Or the baby's blood can actually enter into your system.
Yeah.
Therefore, you've been exposed to the baby's blood. But that baby could have also been O negative. Now, if that baby is O negative, then no problem has happened occurred at all. Because the gentleman could have been O positive or even O negative, but because it's a double thing. But so if the baby, what really matters is the baby's rhesus status. If that baby was O negative and she is O negative as well, then there has been no incompatibility. So it's just like the two of them meeting normally, not a problem. If on the other hand, that baby was O positive, then there's a risk of her being sensitized to positive blood. Let's put it that way. Once she's exposed to the positive blood, she builds antibodies. So the next time she sees positive blood, she sends those antibodies to attack the positive blood. And that puts her next baby at risk. So can she get pregnant? Yes, she can get pregnant. Is the baby at risk? Only if the previous baby was positive and that positive blood entered her blood in significant quantities enough to sensitize her. Then she would have enough antibodies to put that next baby who is positive at risk. But then it gets progressively worse with this child. So it will not prevent her from getting pregnant. Most likely, she'll be able to have that baby. But that baby most likely would have a higher level of jaundice at birth or soon after birth that needs to be aggressively treated. And that's why we give you the blue light and things of that sort. And if you give you the blue light, and some people need more than the blue light, we have to actually exchange the blood. So you do what you call an exchange transfusion soon after birth. But once you've done that, it's okay. Now the next child, which will be the third pregnancy, it gets worse. So the jaundice problem may start in the womb. But her body will be clearing the bilirubin, so it will be jaundice. But the baby becomes severely anemic. And if you're not careful, you need to do an exchange transfusion in the womb.
Wow.
That involves a plane ticket.
Wow.
So if you know you are rhesus negative, you need to be careful. And usually it is recommended that if you do a termination, if she loses the pregnancy like that, and the partner is rhesus positive, you would give her the anti-D injection, which we give to you during your pregnancy or just after you deliver to protect you, to protect the next child from getting neonatal jaundice from the antibodies that you have generated in your system to protect you.
Interesting. Because I know of a case like that. Eventually the baby passed, because the trips back and forth to the hospital was just too much. And the transfusion was not done because parents didn't agree to it and all that.
For religious reasons or just personal objection?
Eventually the baby passed. And so, I mean, this person has been afraid to, take in again.
Oh, she should be ready for a transfusion. She should should just be ready for a transfusion. And I've actually managed a couple of cases like that. One of them actually ended up having a fight with my boss because we disagreed on the blood, the blood that should be given.
It should be given.
But since then, I made up my mind. And when I have such a case, I go and get the blood myself and put it down and say, use this one. And since then, I don't have conversations anymore. I guess bring the right one, and then it works.
Okay. This one says, good morning. I had DNC for 4 months pregnancy. Fetus was dead. A year later, I feel severe abdominal pains during ovulation. The pain, I don't know what to do. But the doctor told me after the DNC that there was a little fibroid, which he said was no problem. I need help.
Mid-cycle pain should not be caused by a DNC that you had after you had an intrauterine fetal death. So I'm not too sure about the link between the two. It's happened significantly at a significant time period after the DNC happened, and you're having cyclical pain, which can happen during ovulation, because in the ovulation process, the follicle bursts to release the egg, and in that process, a little bit of blood drips down. And that blood that drips down, for some people, are more than others. And for some people, they are more sensitive to the blood than others. So the result is that they would have mid-cycle pain. Then if your ovary has been caught up in adhesions, then that whole ovulation process may also be painful when you have it on that side where the adhesions occur. with that whole growth and reduction thing. So unless there's an infection after the DNC and that went inside and caused tubal issues and managed to involve the ovary and and trap it in adhesions and things of that sort, I think she would need to be investigated and to find out whether it is just a small one-off thing or this thing.
Okay.
But since she's had a pregnancy, hopefully she's trying to have another one. So when she gets pregnant, no more ovulation, so no more pain. So quickest solution, get pregnant.
Yeah, but I
hope she's looking for one now.
If you feel your doctor you're seeing is really not giving you results or you're not being convinced, I don't think there's anything wrong with seeing another doctor and having a second opinion.
Yeah.
Yes. We're activating the phone lines also now, 0302216541. Good morning. My name is Hilda. I have been TTC for 2 years now and no sign of no sign of pregnancy. I have a daughter who is 6 years. After I had my daughter, I had IUD implanted because I didn't want to get pregnant again. That's even before I got married. Now I am married and I took the IUD out. It's been almost 2 years, but still no sign. I am 41 and I am getting worried. Any help?
There are several reasons why she's not getting pregnant, and the number one on the list, and even maybe the number 10 on the list, is not the IUD. Half the time, people come and say, it's because I did family planning, that is why the child is not coming. The biggest thing that stands out there is her age. She's 41 years. And the funny thing is that because you know somebody that had a child at 45 or 46 or 47, does not mean that is the norm. Does not mean that is the norm. I know somebody who had a child at 25 and at 29, she couldn't have any more children. Her ovaries had failed.
Wow.
I know somebody whose ovaries failed at 32. I know somebody whose ovaries failed at 36. So the fact that you've had a child before does not predict how long you'll be able to have children. Because everybody's ovaries have their own timetable and they shut down at various points. But the most important thing we have, a challenge we have, is age. Because your eggs are born with you. A man produces new sperm, fresh sperm, newly created sperm every 75 days. Okay. Or let me say the sperm gets to maturity every 75 days. So now that they produce it, so they are producing new sperm every day. But in 75 days time, all the sperm there would have been newly created sperm from now. The old ones would have been, gone and new ones are there. A woman is given her allocation.
Right from
birth. So if you're 18 years, your eggs are 18 years and are strong and healthy as you. If you're 35 and now everything you say, oh, my bro, your eggs too are 35 and they too are also saying, my bro. If you are 41 and your kotojo is spinning you, your eggs too, their kotojo is spinning them. Same thing. And the way you could run 100 meters when you were 18 very easily, and now at 41 you can't jog, that's the same way your eggs too can jog in their process of getting pregnant. So our biggest headache is age.
I see.
And unfortunately, too many women are postponing childbirth, thinking that they can give birth at any time. Not realizing that from 35, we are in trouble. We who are looking after them and they who are having we are both in trouble. And once you pass 35 years, your chance of getting pregnant drops precipitously. And after 40, it really, really drops. So it's one of the things that somehow we need to figure out a way to address, to try and get our people to... You can always do the things you want to do in life, but you can't always have children. Unfortunately, there's a time limit.
So in her case, the biggest challenge is age.
The biggest challenge is age.
Not the fact that you had IUD for 2 years
not
and took it out.
Not yes. But she would once again need to be assessed, examined, and we'll find out in her specific case what the challenge is. Because, you see, she's been married for 2 years. What's the guarantee that man has any sperm? There are a lot of men producing semen. When they ejaculate, something comes, and there's not a single live sperm inside.
Yeah, true.
Plenty.
True.
You see them every week. Not a single live sperm inside.
So the fact that you ejaculate and you see things coming
does not mean that you actually have. There are people who, when we talk about infertility, half of the problems essentially come from men, and the other half come from women. By the time we share everything, yeah. So we can't blame this side or we can't blame that side.
But because it is the woman who will have to carry the bump, once we're not seeing the bump, it is all the woman's fault.
We always blame. Our society tends to blame the woman.
Okay.
And all the man needs to do is to find some other woman to say that she's made her pregnant, and he believes that he's okay.
Okay. Hilda, so I think you and your husband will have to try and make an appointment with the doctor, and then your case can be examined specifically as Doc is saying. This one says, home affairs. My wife started irregular menses from age 19. We got married when she was 25. We have 2 beautiful daughters, all by cesarean sessions. We have been married for 5 years. Can she give birth again? Will it also be by CS? Why has the irregular menses persisted for this long? This is from Ni Dokun in Winneba.
Good morning, boss. Your wife has a particular problem, and that problem causes her to have irregular menses. It's a very, very common problem. It's actually described as the commonest hormonal problem that people have. She got married relatively early, thank God, and as a result, despite the fact that you have this problem, you have 2 beautiful daughters. I met a woman once who has her menses 3 times in a year and has 3 children. To her, she hasn't got a problem.
Okay.
Because it has never worried her. She has 3 children, she has menses 3 times in a year, and so to her, she hasn't got a problem. And I'm like, hey, we are but it has worked.
She's okay.
Yeah. But I guess if you start early, you would ovulate. These people have challenges with ovulation. That's the truth. And because they don't always ovulate, they don't have a chance of getting pregnant every month like the rest of us.
Yeah.
The rest of us do. The end result is that if they delay in the whole childbirth business and then they start later in life,
it gets worse.
It gets a whole lot worse and it compounds. Yes, she can get pregnant again. If you intend to have a child, I suggest you do it sooner rather than later. Will it be by cesarean section? Yes, it will be by cesarean section because you've had 2 previous cesarean sections.
Okay, she's listening. She's typing.
Once you've got 2 previous cesarean sections, it is very likely that you would have another. We would insist on another cesarean section because the risk of not having a cesarean section is that the uterus may rupture during labor, and that can cause you to lose your life and your baby's life. So we wouldn't want you to have a vaginal delivery after the second cesarean section. Okay. And the irregular menses has continued till now because there is a problem.
There is a problem that hasn't been dealt with.
That hasn't been dealt with.
But can these problems always be solved? Problems with irregular menstruation, endometriosis, all these things.
Irregular menses,
do they always have fixes?
We can do a lot for irregular menses to make it regular, to help them have children. We can really do a lot for it. Endometriosis is tough. It's tough. So we try and encourage them that if you have that problem, try and get pregnant as quickly as possible because it gets progressively worse every month and your chances reduce as the longer the disease continues. There are interventions we can put in place, but it's really difficult but it's not something that can really eradicate. You treat it, it improves, it comes back again. Yeah.
I think you said something and Pao really sent a message. I'm just thinking that is why he sent this message. We talked about the fact that sometimes, mothers succeed in putting it into your head that sex is, wrong and you don't do it and all that. So he says, and then since you mothers are our first teachers, this is hilarious. Do you deliberately miseducate us so you can have something to complain about all the time? Women should work on their mothering capabilities.
I think the misinformation becomes very expensive later on in life.
Family, I get you. We will try. Sometimes, when you're a mother, you're so protective, you end up becoming overprotective. So your concerns have been noted this morning. 0302216541. Our phone lines are also activated. You can call in. But I have so many. I'm trying to do this thing systematically so that I don't skip your messages. I want to find out, will abstaining from sex for 5 years affect a woman's vagina negatively? This is from Charity.
No.
Hey. It's a myth, eh?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So Charity, like, it's an outright no with no further explanation. But why do people say that, Doc?
They want to have sex with you.
just like that. I had some fertility treatments in a bid to have a child 2 years ago. It was unsuccessful, but I have not had my menses since. And the doctors say it's because I am menopausal. I am 47 now. And, okay, so the last menses she had was in August 2017. The situation has resulted in serious marital and its consequences trauma. So,
and the question is?
Her question is, she had a fertility treatment.
No, so what's the question?
Yeah, she's been trying to have children, and then it's not happening. And they say she's becoming menopausal and all. I think she just wants explanations around.
It is possible. I mean, at 47, okay, so a study was done in Ghana, and the average woman's age at which she becomes menopausal is 48 amongst Ghanaian women. I don't know if there's a new study that has changed the figure. So at 47, it is normal for normal for her to become menopausal in our population.
Wow.
It's still within just around the middle figure. So if that is the situation, that is the situation.
And there's no remedy.
There's to the menopause. Oh, we can make her menses come every month if we want, but is that what she wants? She wants to have a child.
Yes.
We can assist her to have a child still, even though she has reached that stage. But it's a discussion between she and her doctor.
I see.
So, but something can be done, about it. So I think
Is it risky?
Well, at that age, having a child at that age comes with certain medical challenges and risks, which is a bit more than if you were younger. But that comes with the territory. Depends on how badly you want to have a child and if you are ready to put in the necessary resources to achieve that particular target. But it's doable.
Your number ends with 7127. No WhatsApp calls, please. That number is just for phone calls. You want to call is 0302216541. Hi, Moses. Good morning. Hello, Moses. Good morning to you. Hello, Moses. Moses, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
All right.
And how are you doing?
I am well, thank you. How are you too?
I'm fine.
Okay, great. Your name?
Look, what causes development of fibroid? I have a lady friend. We've known each other for over 25 years. I'm a married man. She's just a platonic relationship. She has fibroid. And every time I advise her to go to the hospital, it's like she's afraid. And she keeps taking in some concussions. Can it lead to death? Can fibroid cause death? Thank you.
Thank you very much. She really shouldn't be afraid of having the fibroids attended to. Fibroids are generally a growth of in the uterus. When the uterus is lying down and you're having your menses every month with every cycle, at some point in time, one particular cell just decides that I will release myself from the shackles of restraint that ensure that we stop growing, and decides that I will continue to grow. So that one cell that multiplies to become 2, the 2 becomes 4, and it keeps going on that way until eventually it becomes a mass, and then the mass continues and then becomes something large that is pressing on part of the body or causing a bleeding problem or things of that sort. And it's like they grow to become like maybe table tennis balls, and then grow bigger than table tennis balls to actual tennis balls, and then can grow as big as a football if you allow it to keep growing. And they are hard masses. They are pretty hard. Not as hard as a stone, but pretty hard. So, as long as the uterus does not have a break of pregnancies and the menses keeps coming every time, your chances of having fibroids are high. In the olden days, people were really afraid of surgeries because they feel that if you have a surgery, you may die. And so the concern is that because of that, they wouldn't want to have the surgery at all. And people, unfortunately, have taken advantage of that fear and have tried to promote various kinds of concoctions that if you take will make it shrink and go away. Unfortunately, those concoctions tend not to work, so the fibroids don't shrink.
I hear sometimes you can even deliver it like a baby.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. It's not true. Anybody who they tell you that the medicine will make the fibroid melt. I tell them that if the medicine can make the fibroid melt, what will you do to your stomach? That the medicine enters first before it goes to the fibroid. Then they keep thinking and they go there, but they realize that, okay, then the story may not exactly be the way they were told. So it's a challenge in our society. They delay, drink all the concoctions, get bankrupt. Then eventually, when the people realize that they can't make any more money out of you, they tell you that to now go to the hospital for surgery. And by the time you come, it is so big and so distorted, we may end up saying that we have to remove the uterus, which is what you were afraid of from the beginning, which could have been avoided if you came in the beginning for us to remove it. Now, looking at that fibroid, there are the big fibroids that stick on the outside. The ones that stick on the outside and they are pretty large, we have to remove them by going through your tummy. If it is big, we will have to give you a cut on your uterus, on your tummy. Then we go down to your uterus and remove the fibroid from it and put the nice uterus back down for you. If it is on the outside and it is smaller, then you can actually have access to what you call a keyhole surgery. We don't actually give you a big cut, the big cuts that you see. We give you 3 or 4 small cuts the size of my finger. One of them is the size of a finger, and the other ones are the size of pens. And I'm talking about the diameter of a pen. And that's the small cut that we put instruments inside, like fork and knife, and then we do the entire operation inside your tummy through those small holes, and then we chop up the fibroid and bring it out through the small hole, the result of which is that you don't have a big cut. It means you can be back at work very quickly. Then there's one I really like, which is the one that the fibroids that cause heavy bleeding. Because that one, you can go through the vagina, through the cervix, into the uterus, and remove the fibroid from there and get out without cutting any part of the body.
Wow.
And with that one, you stay in hospital for 1 day. The next day, you are back home, and your life continues very, 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 very nicely. I did 2 this week. They went home the next day. So there are ways we can solve that. We don't always have to cut you. If you come early, we can actually do it. You have more options because you can have option A, B, C, and D because you are coming early for us to intervene. And if you really have to have open surgery, it is pretty safe. Go to a hospital that you know that they are competent and they look after their clients well, and the doctors and the anesthetists and everybody is good, and you'd get a good outcome. Right. Without even the pain that you make so much noise about, because pain relief has gotten very good of late.
Moses, I hope you have your question answered. He's off the line. Okay, and I hope that your wife is with you and listening so that she could, agree for you to make an appointment with the doctor. Do I still have Vanessa on the line?
Hi.
Hi, morning. Vanessa. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, go on, Vanessa. Danielle, I was just saying that you should hold on to the phone calls until doc is done so people don't waste a lot of credits.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm 30 years now, but growing up, I had an irregular menstrual cycle, which didn't really cause much of a problem because I went to the hospital. I have a child, and currently I don't have that urge to have sex with my husband anymore. Why? Because he just comes to you when he wants sex, when he's hard. And just like Doc said, he doesn't touch that spot that he used to touch before. So I've just gone off it. And I am trying so hard to get a baby now. Whenever we have to have sex, just to make him happy, I would have to use a cream or maybe shea butter or something so that he will be fine. But when it comes to me, no, he doesn't care. I don't know if he's going to think I'm doing it somewhere else or something. But I don't know the education that would have to go out to the men out there. That's just like Doc said, we have to be really worked on before we get into that mood. I really want to have my second child now, and this can't make me. I don't know what else to do.
Okay, so if I'm getting you clear, you want to have a child now.
Now
You are, I mean, just like the first, one of the stories we shared earlier, and the messages that came in from yesterday, you're not in the mood for it.
No, he has really put me off. Initially,
it.
it was fine with us, but now I don't even find him that attractive anymore. No kissing, no foreplay, just penetration, and it's been like that for 4 years, and it's really not helping. I don't know.
Who? And you have had the conversations with him.
He's not ready to listen. You tell him, he'll tell you okay, but he's just not that kissing type. He doesn't like the foreplay. All that matters is he watches his porn, he's on, he's hard, and then that's it.
Has he always been like that?
When I knew him, no. But after we got married and we stayed together, I don't know. There are some behaviors I'm getting to know now.
Wow. Doc, what do you have to say to this?
The solution to this problem is more than this. This program can take. But I would say that this is like an example of what I was talking about. You know what to do, but you don't do it because for whatever reason, which we need to try and assess and to fix. It would involve some therapy for both of them.
Would he agree to come with you to seek help?
No, I don't think so.
Hey.
Even for counseling, he's not in for it. I don't think so.
Okay, so to solve your problem, right now your priority number one is getting pregnant, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the problem is that we have to ensure that we use the right kind of lubricants to ensure that you are able to have the penetration all right, because right now all you need is the sperm, right?
Yes, that's all I need.
Really?
So, hold on. Let's try and deal with her issues one by the ones we can deal with. There are some that we can't deal with. Right now she wants to have a child. Unfortunately, madam, I have seen your plan. And it's an evil plan.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you want to do. Lord, if only men knew. Anyway, so but unfortunately it's his fault. What you need to do is we need to look into lubricants. A lot of the ones that we use are toxic to sperm, and the result is that you would have the sperm being killed by the lubricant that you are using. So we have to find there are specific lubricants that are designed for those who are trying to get pregnant, and you need to get one of those. Also, if your menses is regular now, you can time when you should be having sex, so that if you can use an ovulation kit so that you know that this is the time to do it. And since you've been married to him a couple of years, you know what to do to get him in the mood. So you do what you need to do to get the job done, and then you get your pregnancy.
Sure.
That is step one. The other issue, that is the part that relies on you. The other issue, it involves him, and we need to figure out a way to have a conversation with him.
Yeah.
I don't know, you figure it out. One of these days, we can find a way to have a chat with him and try and figure out why he is not doing what he needs to do. But, and this applies not only to you, but if you know you like kissing and you are dating somebody who does not like kissing, it's a sign that there will be issues somewhere down the line. And it follows
the red flag.
Yes, there are things that we think, and yeshi, actually, yeshi pa. So I think we should know what it is that we need and look for that in our partner to make sure that we are on the same page, running the same journey in the same direction. But all the best in your quest for number two. With the right strategies, it will work for you. As for the next plan afterwards, we'll talk later.
Thank you very much, sir.
Vanessa, don't carry through with your evil plan. Wow. Do drop us a mail. homeaffairs@myjoyonline.com. Or 0262 874707. I will direct you where you have to go. But don't just plan to have a baby and then let the marriage go. It can be salvaged, I so believe. No WhatsApp calls, please. Now, Indomie Instant Noodle, tastes great. Indomie Instant Noodle is a complete, wholesome and delicious meal. It is full of essential nutrients and is rich in calcium, proteins, carbs and vitamins, so you can have it anywhere, anytime. Also, you can add your personal touch to your favorite Indomie meal by adding your choice of ingredients like vegetables, eggs, fish, chicken, meat, and prepare Indomie just the way you love it. So go love it your way. For tasty Indomie recipes and other details, check out Indomie Ghana page on Facebook and Instagram. Indomie, tastes great. Somebody sent a question, says that for the men who fire blanks, do they have any chance of having children at all?
If there are multiple reasons why you are firing blanks for to use his term. But if your semen analysis shows that there's no sperm inside, it could be because the testes are not producing the sperm at all, or it could be that there's a blockage. So then we go into the testes to look and see if we can find sperm there. If you find sperm there, it means most likely it's a blockage. We can use the sperm from your testes to fertilize an egg and give you a baby through IVF. In the event that there's no testicular production, there's no sperm production in your testes, that means you don't have any sperm at all, and then it will be difficult for you to be able to make a baby by yourself.
All right. This one says, my menstrual cycle varies every month. Oh, sorry. Let me pick the phone call and I'll come to you. Hello, is this Honam?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Honam, Choy comes here.
Oh, Manajibu.
Madakuku, Choy come, Madakuku.
Anyway, that's okay.
Thank you, Honam.
Yeah, please, I want to ask Doctor this question. I've had 3 cesareans. I just had the last one this December. And then I asked for BTL, so the BTL was down. But I have a baby now. When I was 10 plus, I had my menses. And I'm ovulating. So I want to find out, I just want to be sure that the BTL was down. And then with the BTL, would I have my menses and would I ovulate as well?
Okay. Thank you for the question, because a lot of people have this kind of misconception. Now, assume that I am standing here and I'm standing upright with my arms stretched out. And in my hands are the ovaries. And my arms are the tubes. And my body is the uterus. All the BTL does is that we tie the tube, which is we put a knot in the arms. The result is that the egg coming from the ovaries meets a roadblock along the tube and therefore is not able to meet the sperm. That's all that is done. So the egg would come every month as normal. We didn't touch your ovaries. Yeah. We didn't touch your hormones. We didn't touch your menopause. We didn't touch your ability to feel womanly at all. The menses will come as normal because your hormones are still working as normal the way they should. All that was done was that a roadblock was placed between the egg and the sperm so that the two cannot meet to form a baby. It's a bit like we've blocked the East Legon under bridge so that the traffic on this side of the motorway cannot cross to the other side of the motorway. That's all we've done. But it does not mean that the traffic on the left and the right will not continue to perform like the way they should. We are just not allowing them to intersect. So your menses will come as normal, your ovaries will function as normal, your libido should function as normal, your life should everything should continue as normal. It is just the egg and the sperm which are not being allowed to meet, and as a result of which you will not be able to get pregnant.
Oh, okay. That's okay. Thank you. And then one thing too, I like when you are breastfeeding, your menses will not come at least. But I do exclusive, and just 2 months.
You're menstruating.
We have changed. Before it was like that, but the syllabus changed. Nowadays, people are doing exclusive and they are still having their menses. People are having their menses at 6 weeks. Before, what happens is that if you are breastfeeding exclusively, you produce a certain hormone in higher quantities, which is called prolactin, and that suppresses your ovulation and then your whole cycle, and then you don't menstruate. But now some people are still menstruating even though they are breastfeeding, so obviously suppression is not as good as it used to.
Is it a disorder?
It used to be. Not necessarily. I think our bodies have, undergone some changes as time has gone on, and we are able to overcome that barrier that before was preventing us from getting.
So now what it says is that doing exclusive breastfeeding is no longer a family planning method.
It is no longer a guaranteed
family planning.
It still works, but it's.
I mean,
And okay, I was going to say. You may have your menses. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're ovulating properly. But once I give you that, the people say, "Oh, then it's still okay. You can still get pregnant." So, in the olden days, it is exclusive plus going to your mother for 2 years. And that was what was working. The going to your mother for 2 years was the bonus. Now it is.
That was a guarantee.
Now it's exclusive, but you are still in your husband's house. Anything can happen.
Oh my God, that's how come. 3-4 months into breastfeeding, people are getting pregnant and all. Yeah.
Somebody told me that she had maternity leave, then resumed her maternity leave with a pregnancy.
Oh God, that would be stressful. So you should be careful.
No, she had a BTL, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay,
BTL.
so she's fine.
Oh, you're
she's
fine.
now.
Fine.
You're done. You're fine.
Fire.
Okay. BTL is what? What?
Bilateral tuber ligation.
Okay, all right. All right, Vanessa, are you done? Honam.
Yeah.
Okay. Akbe. This one says, I hope we can do 2 more. Good morning, Adam. My menstrual cycle varies every month. It does not fall on the 28 days. Sometimes it's 24, 25, 26. I got married about 4 years ago. Still don't have a child. I had a fibroid surgery 4 years ago and still waiting for the pregnancy. I am now 45. Is there any hope for me?
We have quite a bit of work to do. But let me try and use the opportunity to explain certain things. The average person's menstrual cycle, we say, is 28 days. It does not mean everybody's zone is 28 days. Somebody's zone is 23. Another person's zone is 34. They are all human beings. That is their cycle. So if it doesn't fall, and if it's 28 days, it will not fall on the same date. Only February is 28 days. March is 31. So February, it will come on the 5th. March, it will come on the 5th, even if you are 28 days. However, in April, it will come on the 2nd. It will not come on the same day. It keeps moving from date to date, even if you are a 28-day cycle, because the months are different dates. So that is one. Yes, she's had a fibroid surgery, which may be, of benefit to her. But the issue now is she is 45 years. So that means, once again, our age issue has shown its head. So for somebody like that, got married at 4 years ago, that's around 40, 41, trying to get pregnant should have been an aggressive medical intervention, not wait and see.
Yeah.
At that age, you don't have much time left, so it's an aggressive medical intervention. I know people who got pregnant for the first time at 42, no intervention. I had a client like that. I know a client who had her last child at 46, almost 47. No intervention. So it happens all the time. However, it doesn't happen all the time to everybody. So in your case, you may have had challenges. And the result that your best time was at 40 or 41. Now you are 45. The challenges are a lot more.
So what you advise?
I would suggest that please seek medical intervention as soon as possible, so that whatever options are still available to you can be explored quickly before those doors also close.
Okay, so what you're trying essentially to say is that once you're hitting your late 30s into your 40s and you're trying to get pregnant, you don't treat it like you're 25 and just married and trying waiting and see to get pregnant. If that's the focus, you will have to treat it aggressively. Okay. There's one here that I think it's even more serious. Good morning, Adam. Please, I'm 40, married for 8 years now, and I have had my myomectomy for 2 years. After that, my menses comes once every month. I've gone to see my gynae several times, and he keeps telling me it's normal and that it will correct by itself. I went to see him again only last week, and he gave me a tablet called, what's that, microgynon. I read about it, and it says that it prevents pregnancy. But I am also trying to get pregnant, and it's been 8 years to no avail. I am worried. What do I do?
Okay. The challenge I have is after the myomectomy, her menses comes only once in a month. Everybody's menses comes once a month. My own also comes once a month. What is different about it?
Yeah.
The shimi comes once, like one
Or
day.
maybe.
One day in a month, only one day. If it comes only one day, we are a bit concerned because then it's a bit, the duration is a bit too short. And especially because she mentioned the fact that she's had a myomectomy. And I don't know what the effect has been by taking the pill, whether it has made her menses longer or shorter. But if she's had a surgery that has involved, that may have involved the endometrium, which is the lining of the uterus, in a myomectomy that can happen, and your menses has reduced significantly to a day or scanty, there usually is a problem. That means the endometrium may not be working very well, and there's a need for us to put a camera inside and take a look and see what's happening inside there and address it if that is indeed the case. So this is the kind of case that she would need to seek a different consultation.
All right. Is it normal for a woman to have her period twice a month, and what causes it?
Oh, assuming your menses came on the 1st of March and you have a 28-day cycle, if you add the 28 to 1, you will get 29. So that means her next menses will still come in March. Will it not? It will still come in March. So it's possible to have your menses twice in a month for it to be normal. Assuming you have a 25-day cycle and your menses came on the 3rd, 25 plus 3, and your March is 31 days, you will still have your menses again in the same month. In the event, however, that your menses occurs every 15 days, that is the problem. You understand? If it occurs 21 days and below, that is the problem. So we need more information to know whether this is a normal cycle or this is an abnormal cycle. But coming twice in a month doesn't necessarily make it an abnormal cycle. Some people have what you call a mid-cycle bleed. So they have a menses for 5 days, then around ovulation they bleed for 3 days, and they call that a menses. Then 2 weeks later they bleed again, and then they call that a menses. So that means every 2 weeks they're having their menses. But it's not really, the middle one is not really a menses, it's a mid-cycle bleed. But we need to investigate to be sure as to what exactly is causing her problem.
I am learning something this morning, and something keeps recurring. After reading this message, I want to see if you've been observing it too. This one says, "Good morning, Doc and Adam. My daughter is 41 and SS. Her blood group is A+. She has normal menses. What are her chances of getting pregnant for the first time? She got married about 7 months ago." This is from Albert. Before Doc comes in, Nalem Clothing, the best place to buy quality and elegant Afrocentric garments and fashionable accessories, has outdoored the Nalem Ayede promotion. Walk into any Nalem store and grab your Afrocentric garments for your friends and family as we celebrate Ghana Month. Gift vouchers are also available. We have in stock special outfits for gents, ladies, and kids. Locate Nalem at Accra Mall, Achimoto Retail Center, Junction Mall, Nungwa, Oxford Streets, in Osu, West Hills Mall, a home shop in Labadi, Kotoka International Airport Terminals 2 and 3, Kokomlemle shop. You can also shop online at nalemstore.com or ahomestore.com. Call Nalem on 050-139-7814 or 050-1586-418 for a real shopping experience. Nalem Ayede, where Nalem, where Ghana. T&Cs do apply. Have you observed what I have observed?
You want me to read what is in your head?
Okay. I'm noticing that now most of the issues are beginning to happen between the late 30s and 40s and all. And I think I'm finding this a bit interesting and would want to probe a bit further into why a lot of women are now seeking to, have children about that age. Yeah. I find it quite interesting.
Women are getting married later
now.
and later. And we attribute it to all kinds of things, but it's it's somehow we seem to think that we can always do that, not realizing how difficult it is to find a partner
Exactly.
after the age of 35.
I mean,
Not
even
35 for you, 35 for him. It's. I've done a bit of a study on that and realized how challenging it is to find people in that kind of group to settle down. And so it's we at the beginning think, oh, we have time, and then before you are aware, you get to that stage, and the people that you could have who were at your feet all that time are no longer, as available. Then you realize how narrow the pool is at a later stage in life. I think we need to have a balance in life, which is do our studies, worship our God, at the same time be looking for the good partners out there
around.
And those who have POP, encourage them to speak. And
because I'm thinking whatever the attributions may be to women settling down late, unless of course it's not in your plan. But if it is in your plan that you'd like to settle down and have a family, now we're realizing that it's a one show, but almost all the messages are around that age. Then we're realizing that that age bracket is becoming a challenge for a lot of things. So we may have to consider that is if it's in your plan to settle down and raise a family. Just address this quickly and then we're out of here. Are you available next week? Because we haven't, there's so many questions we haven't attended to. Next week I'll get you Coco and Kosi whilst you're on air.
I have a place to be in first name. We'll talk.
Oh, see, all right, sure.
We'll see what we can do. So the lady is 41 and she's SS. I hope her husband is AA. And that we are talking about sickling, not blood group.
Yes.
She has a normal menses. What are her chances of getting pregnant for the first time? We need to assess her. Yeah. Because even though her age is she's on the wrong side of the scale that we would prefer.
Yeah.
There are those at that age who have got excellent egg reserves who can still have children. So it's not a total fact that once you're above 40, it's a zero. But once you're above 40, your chances are significantly reduced. Actually, from 35, your chances reduce. From 40, it significantly reduces. So from 35, we are in a bit in a hurry. And from 40, we know that we don't have much time at all. Left. But there's a test that we can do that takes your egg reserves and tells us how many eggs you have left, in quotes.
Right.
And that gives us an idea as to how easy it will be for you to get, to respond to treatment, to be able to get pregnant. But for this woman, she's been married for 7 months. She shouldn't be waiting. She should be seeing a doctor now.
Quickly.
At 41, she should be seeing a doctor now.
Plus her sickling condition as well. All right. Thank you very much, Doc. And this is how we're ending the show this morning. All too soon. Time is up. I have a lot of your questions. We're going to save them and find out how we can deal with them. If Doc is available next week, I promise you we will have a part 2 of this conversation. Otherwise, I'm going to task him, send the questions to him one after the other, and then every day we come on the show, we try to read one out with the answers. But I hope we have been impactful this morning. My name is Edem Naitete. Doc, where can people find you? I mean, they've been asking your number and all that.
They should speak to you off air.
Okay, all right. So just send a mail to homeaffairs@myjoyonline.com or 0262874707. You can drop a WhatsApp there as well. I will get it and I will get back to you. Thank you very much. My name is Edem Naitete. Daniela Efo said, fair boy, God bless you all. We are out of here. Enjoy your weekend.